evening, I'm Taylor Thomas with a CTV News update. Black tow truck drivers in Prince George's County say police are stopping them from growing their business. Donning their Black Towing Matters t-shirts, members of the Prince George's County African American Tow Truck Association rallied near County Police Headquarters in Upper Marlboro today. The organization says for more than 20 years, its members have been had issues getting businesses towing their cars, have been involved in accidents on county roadways. The group alleges that county police will only allow motorists to pick from a select list of tow companies and that none of them are Black owned.
The list stayed full because every time a Black company tries to apply, they are told the list is always full. But when it does open up, the white companies are the ones that get the contract. The Blacks have still been pushed to the back. But it shouldn't be a cap. How's it gonna be a cap when you pay tax, you buy tags, you buy a license to do just this, to work for a business? So why is it that these companies are the only ones making the money and the little companies are getting kicked to the side?
The group says that they had a meeting with the police chief back in June to no avail. The organization also says that its members are now being forced to take work in the district, Montgomery, and Anne Arundel counties. The latest COVID-19 numbers indicate a dip in new cases reported by the state, but an increase in the positivity rate, hospitalizations, and deaths. The State Department of Health is reporting 790 new cases. That number does not include those who self-test. The positivity rate in Prince George's is up 15.31%. 28 Marylanders have died over the past 24 hours, and 685 people are hospitalized. That's an increase of 100 since last Thursday. Prince George's police are investigating a fatal shooting at a gas station last night. The victim has been identified as 54-year-old Lee Alexander Thomas of Largo. Detectives are trying to determine if he was shot during a carjacking. The incident occurred around 11 p.m. in the 10,000 block of Campus Way South. Police are offering a reward of up to $25,000 for information leading to an arrest and indictment. Well, after 29 years on the bench, the first Black female judge in Prince George's County is set to retire. The Honorable Sheila R. Tillerson Adams became the first Black woman appointed to the District Court of Maryland in Prince George's County in 1993. She would eventually become Chief Administrative Judge. Over the next few nights, we will hear from Tillerson Adams about her long career. Tonight, she talks about the day at a middle school assembly when she decided she was going to be a lawyer.
And a woman came on the stage to talk to us, and she was a Black woman, which perked me up because I don't think we had too many Black speakers at the time. And she was a lawyer, and she talked about what she did with young kids. And that's all I remember about her, but I remember that day deciding, I'm going to be a lawyer. I remember going home and telling my mom, I'm going to be a lawyer. And she looked at me because we had never discussed anything like that before. And she said, well, I guess we have to figure out how to make that happen. And that's what we did.
Would go on to get law degrees from Howard and Georgetown universities. We'll hear more from Tillerson Adams tomorrow. You're watching CTV News. I'm Taylor Thomas. Back in a moment.
We know what it's like to go to war, to bravely step forward and sacrifice for what you believe is right. We see those who are redefining what it means to serve, to be a patriot, a hero, and to save lives. From our nation's injured veterans to the faces of courage across America today, we see you, we support you, we salute you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Good evening and welcome back. Former Capitol Heights Mayor Sean Maldon is now in need of a kidney transplant about a year after COVID left him with end-stage kidney failure. Today is Maldon's birthday, and he wants to get the word out that he is waiting on a donor to match in order to get the organ transplant. He can only accept a kidney from someone whose blood type is 0O. In an interview earlier this fall, Maldon discussed his tough journey.
I got COVID and it blew my kidneys out. So immediately I had, I got really sick and I started swelling. When I got to the emergency room, they immediately ran tests and they said that your creatinine is at 14. Now, anyone who knows anything about creatinine, they know that for men, it's not supposed to be above 1.2. Mine was at 14. And so they said, oh my God, we need you to start dialysis right away.
If you'd like to assist Maldon in his quest for a kidney transplant, you can email him at maldon@seanmaldon.com. A new commission set up to look into the healthcare workforce crisis in Maryland has been meeting for months. Its mission is to determine the source of problems and make recommendations to the state. The group is examining turnover rates and average length of tenures, as well as future needs by region and language as populations age. It's also considering ways to keep current workers in healthcare, including with state tax incentives and other benefits.
There's a workforce shortage in our hospitals, so we passed a bill this past session that created a commission to find solutions, and the hospitals and other providers have been working, and my vice chair has been attending those meetings, and the report will be due soon, now in December, and some of those recommendations we're going to be implementing them. So our committee will also focus on access to care, and on the insurance rates as well, and the waiver. We are going to be pretty busy.
An interim report is due to both the Senate and House Health Committees by the end of December. We are just days away from Christmas and other holiday celebrations, and the CDC is sending out a reminder to those planning to travel for the holidays. If you have not already gotten your COVID booster or flu shot, you are advised to wear masks when using public transportation and to practice good cough and sneeze etiquette with a tissue or your elbow. Health officials say COVID-19 cases are on the rise, as well as hospitalizations and deaths. Remember, you can order a free test kit at covid.gov. Well, if you're headed to the airport later this week, pack your patience. TSA officials say their busiest days will be Thursday, December 22nd and Friday, December 30th. Travelers might experience about a 10 to 30-minute wait in a TSA line before you head to the airport. Remember to make sure you bring your ID. Also, if you are bringing gifts for a loved one, make sure that they are unwrapped. 'Tis the season for holiday giving and receiving, and yes, scammers. The Maryland State Police Cyber Task Force is warning consumers to keep their guards up. According to the Internet Crime Complaint Center of 2021 report, scammers have cost Americans over $337 million in non-delivered items and another $173 million in credit card charges. There are some simple ways to protect yourself, like never click on an unfamiliar link, website, or social media post. Never wire money directly to a seller, and collect your mail daily. Trust your instincts, and if you suspect something, report it immediately to your local law enforcement agency. Light the Way, a local nonprofit that works with children, is all smiles. That's because their students were nominated in California's IndieX Film Festival for Best Documentary Short. The president, Janice Murphy, says the students were so excited after receiving word of the nomination.
It was amazing. Like, they worked so hard, and it's this year we actually increased the number to 20. Typically, we only have 10 students. And so it was great. They all come together. They don't know one another, so they have to gel over a period of 5 days, come up with a concept of what they want to talk about for their documentary. So it was a great feeling to see how well they did in those limited days and the message they were able to convey in their documentary.
This year's entry was entitled Dreamcatcher. They are still awaiting the announcement of the winner. To learn more about Light the Way program with kids, you can simply go to the website right there on your screen. And we'll be right back with more in a moment. Stay tuned.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Good evening and welcome back. The former chair of the union representing D.C. corrections officers is arrested and charged with wire fraud. 64-year-old Andra Parker of Capitol Heights is charged with embezzling thousands of dollars between June 2018 and May of 2019 and using much of the money to fund a lavish trip with friends to New York City. Parker is the fourth corrections officer to be charged with a crime this year. 3 others were charged with conspiracy, bribery, smuggling, and a federal civil rights violation. Some new closing gates at the Chesapeake Bay Bridge are officially open to the public today. Traffic in the reversible lane of the 3-span bridge was previously done with orange construction cones and barrels. Now a new automated lane closure system will use horizontal gates that swing open. The Maryland Transportation Authority says it is also using illuminating pavement markers, full-color message boards, and overhead lane usage signals. Drivers from the Eastern Shore approaching the westbound bridge will be the first to see the new gates in action. Portions of the system on the Western Shore side will be phased in later this winter. A quick-acting Anne Arundel County police officer is credited with saving the life of a young deer. Take a look at your screen. This video is from December 16th. On it, you can see Sergeant Matt Hall, who was flagged down by several people who noticed a deer trapped in a wired fence. The deer struggled a bit, as you can see, as the officer tried to help. Thankfully, Sergeant Hall was able to safely free the deer, which quickly darted off once their antlers were free from the fence. 'Tis the season of giving, and today Amazon and former Washington Commanders players came together to surprise students at SKC Early Education Center in Largo. Amazon donated $25,000 that is, to SKC. The kids received team souvenirs and apparel from Epic Every Day, a brand that celebrates young black and brown children. Former player Ken Harvey took time to read a holiday story.
One quote from Wright Edelman is, "You can't be what you can't see." So when we see these little faces, we know that we're on to something. We know that it's going to be actually awesome and epic. We learned that less than 2% of consumer goods, whether they're accessories, apparel, or home goods, look like those children. We wanted to make sure we made a difference, and this is just a way that we can pour into them.
The way to ensure a better tomorrow is to invest in today. You got to build strong communities. You got to invest in the lives of those communities. That's what Amazon is doing. That's what the Commanders are doing, the Legends. That's what SKC is doing every single day.
SKC has 3 locations in Upper Marlboro. Sports news, the Duke's Mayo Bowl game is right around the corner for the Maryland Terps football team. The Big Ten Conference Terrapins are taking the field against North Carolina State of the ACC Conference. One player in particular is looking forward to going up against a team from a different conference. Quarterback Tarheeb still says it'll be fun to compete against the Wolfpack.
We have some good teams down there in the ACC, but the Big Ten, we're known for being physical, big up front, stuff like that. So, they bring a different type of style to the game, playing ACC teams. But it's always good playing different opponents, seeing different type of play styles. They switch it up. So, I feel like playing NC State would be a good team to go up against because they're going to give you something different, probably something we haven't seen or something we haven't seen from the beginning of the year. So, I feel like it's a good opportunity. The crossover playing the ACC team, so it should be fun.
The Terps and the Wolfpack face off on December 30th. Let's get a quick check on our 3-day weather forecast tonight. The clouds will roll in, gradually start to clear out, and temperatures will drop into the low 20s. Tomorrow, the sun will come out and temps will range between 42 degrees to 32 degrees. Then Thursday and Friday, rain will come our way with temperatures ranging in the low 50s. And that will wrap up our CTV News tonight. I'm Taylor Thomas. Good evening.